Great, welcome back to the shop. I want to show you something here. A nice trick on how to assemble crown molding. So, I just did one side here, so this is what I'm after. But I want a nice tight glue joint right across here as when I'm assembling crown molding. And I pre-assemble all my crown molding when I'm doing kitchens now. I've been doing this last few years as opposed to trying to do it on site with pre-finished material. This gives me the advantage so that when I'm prepping and sanding this, I can break all the corners, I can fill all the joints, and I can strengthen this up so that it won't crack when it's on the job site, like over the years. So, I got a 3-piece crown molding system here, right here, and it's made out of this here, which is just a plywood piece that's 2 inches wide. I ran a groove inside here that's 11/16 wide, and it's about 3/8 of an inch deep, this groove. I have this, which I call the riser, and it's made of melamine, 5/8, and that fits inside this groove. So, what I do first is I make this piece, and I make it fit over top of all my cabinets. Then I pre-fit this inside of it, and I make sure that everything fits. And then my crown molding is basically off of this. So this is going to end up going like that when it's all said and done. Okay? But when I'm assembling this, I want to make sure that everything is square and tight. So what I like to do, I have to put this leg on here, and I want to make sure that that's fitting in here, and I want that nice and tight. So how do you do that? Well, you can put it together and just nail it like that, but how do you know if it's square or not? So you get yourself a framing square, and I like this one here because if you look at the framing square right there, it's got a little drill hole right in the corner. And what I like about that is this. So I just clamp this down to the bench here with a couple of spring clamps, and then I can push this right tight into that joint right there. And I'm going to show you this for a second. All right. So there you go. It's right tight into that corner. And what I do is I hold and push this tight so it's against the L-shaped part of the square there and here. And then I know this thing's 100% square. And then I'm going to show you what I do to assemble this. So, 23 gauge nailer, fairly common for any of this kind of stuff. I've got 1-inch pins in there, and I like to use PVA glue, just yellow carpenter's glue like this. All right, so make sure you get lots of glue on it. Put that in, and now I can kind of push the molding in tight into that corner right here. And then I can look at it. Okay, so now I just move it out a little bit. And I can manipulate it. Move it out. Okay, until I finally get it to where I want it to be. Because I'm looking also at my inside corner here, and I want that nice and tight at the same time. So there's a bunch of multiple factors, but it gives you that option when you're doing it that you wouldn't if you were trying to put it on site or anything like that. So it's a little bit off here. Now I push it tight, and now I can nail it. All right, so now that's nicely assembled and it's square. Now what I'm using is my 3/8 crown upholstery stapler with 1/4 inch staples. And I'm going to show you what I do with this, because this will keep this molding from ever coming apart. I call it molding stitching. And all I do is I run a bunch of staples right on the inside like that. And what it'll do is that holds it just like you're stitching skin together if you had a cut. virtually the same idea. And you're left with a perfectly square molding, which then will fit nicely over this. Look at that. So when I'm on site, all I got to do is raise this up to whatever height I want, nail it in, and it's done. But all my inside corners and everything, or sorry, outside corners will be completely done, and all I got to do is just assemble. It is the easiest way to put these things together. Anyways, hopefully that's helpful for you.